Claps all around, claps all around. What's up, everybody? I am your guy Z Fly, and I'm back for another keeping it real hot and fresh show. That's right here on Fly World Media. I'm so happy to be back. The last day of March, everybody. So hopefully, everybody, you got everything done in March that you either planned to get done or needed to get done because March is on its way out. You know what I'm saying? We're already in spring, and speaking of spring, as you see, I decided to get some lighter colors today, some springy colors. I got my Miami Vice looking hat. So yeah, I'm trying to get ready, stay in tune for this season. So here we are. So yes, a few more days and then March is gone. But we're still celebrating a lot this month. One thing being on Women's History Month, that's still happening. So as you know, to keep it real hot and fresh, so we have been doing some trinkets here throughout the month, showcasing, women, whether, things that they have done in the past, things that they do now, and just being a woman, you know what I'm saying? Women, they been through a lot, they go through a lot, they endured a lot, and they have achieved a lot throughout history. So we've definitely been highlighting Women's History Month. So we're going to continue to do so, in this episode as well. But before we do, I do want to, that's right, see the bottom, my social media is running at the bottom. So you can definitely go ahead and follow me, or, if you do want to watch on a particular platform, you can choose the platform you want to watch me on live, and you can get to it. Now, just to let you know, so Twitter/X, I'm not live on Twitter/X, but the others, you can definitely watch me. And on YouTube, definitely be sure, if you all watch me on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and click that bell so that you'll be notified of all of my upcoming shows, events, etc. Okay, but back on Women's History Month. So yeah, also to some of you all may know that so the company name is Forever Live Young Entertainment, and we actually have a awareness initiative project, that we have, which is called the Lavender Project. And the Lavender Project is basically that talking about women living or diagnosed with endometrial cancer. Now, Lavender, it is a person who I lost to uterine. So endometrial cancer is also like uterine cancer. So I lost someone to that, someone very, very close, and her name was Lavender. So I actually made it an acronym, which stands for Living Effectively, Victoriously, Incredibly, Nutritiously, Dutifully, Acknowledgedly with endometrial cancer. And that's a mouthful, but being one of the caretakers to this person, I really saw what the disease can do to a person, the things that they go through, the treatments, the symptoms and all of that. So I saw firsthand what it could do. So I definitely it really inspired me to create something that raises awareness on uterine cancer. And then once I started to really get out there and start, raising awareness and doing different events and fundraising, I started to realize that a lot of women didn't even know about uterine cancer. Uterine cancer is actually one of the gynecologic cancers. There's 5 gynecologic cancers, and a lot of women don't even know, don't know what they are. So it really showed me that there is definitely a need out there for the Lavender Project. So I created, I'm still building on it all the time, partnering with different people, collaborating with different health facilities and more, to really get it out there and just to really spread the awareness on uterine cancer. So for this Women's History Month, I definitely wanted to bring this up because this is something that physically only affects women, but it actually affects all of us as well. Because like I said before, even though it physically only affects the female body, but it affects men as well. Because like I said, we have moms, we have sisters and aunts and nieces and grandmas. We have women in our lives, so that we care about. So of course, we would definitely want to know, what they could be going through or what they're going through, and how we can be there for care and assistance and just love anywhere else. But I did want to show you the intro to Lavender, just to give you a little bit more about of what it's about. And so I'm gonna show you that right now, and then we'll get back to the show. So check this video out. Hello, I'm Z-Fly, and welcome to the Lavender Project, where hope, support, and education intersect to empower women battling endometrial cancer and its effect it has on the families. Now, our mission is clear: to educate, support, and empower those affected by endometrial cancer. After losing my mom in 2013, this relentless disease, I knew I had to make a difference. Endometrial cancer, one of the gynecologic cancers, demands attention. That's why we're here to raise awareness about its seriousness, detection, and treatment. Through fundraising, advocacy, seminars, and community outreach, we aim to equip women with knowledge and resources they need to face this challenge head on. We believe in the power of prayer and community, which is why church involvement is a cornerstone of our project. Lavender is an acronym which stands for Living Effectively, Victoriously, Incredibly, Nutritiously, Dutifully, and Acknowledgingly, which are guiding principles for navigating the journey to recovery. So please explore our page to see our past events and consider making a donation, because together we can make a difference. Also, our beneficiary is the Foundation for Women's Cancer, so please visit their website to learn more about their impactful work. Thank you for visiting our page today, and remember, together we can end women's cancer. All right, and there you have it, everybody. So yeah, so that is the intro that you can actually find on the website. As you see, the website is actually scrolling at the bottom. So there you can go to that website, www.fly-entertainment.media/philanthropy, and you can read more about the Lavender project, and if also you can make a donation, or just read about the other cancers as well. Also, we do have the Foundation for Women's Cancer. That is our beneficiary. So you can actually, there's a link, on the page as well, where you can click there and read more about, their initiative and what they do as well. So there you have it. So yes, Women's History Month, we definitely want to talk about, not only the good things and the achievements that women have done, but also things that are also physically and medically affect women as well. So gynecologic cancers is definitely one of them, and just to learn that a lot of women don't even know about it. So Lavender, she's definitely going to keep spreading the word and educating women on their reproductive systems. All right, so there you have it, everybody. So definitely check that out. Also coming up in the show, you definitely want to stay tuned with this. This will be a great show today. We have those real talk topics. That's right. I'm going to be talking about our father's second class parents. Okay. Now, if you want to know what I mean by that, then you got to stick around to see what I mean. Then I'm also going to be talking about, as you know, is Hollywood getting bored? Is Hollywood running out of ideas when it comes to movies? Because, there's a lot of remakes. I'm like, where's the originality? You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like, oh, let's take these old movies and let's remake them. So I'm gonna give, we're gonna talk about that as well, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that, and yeah. So that is some real talk topic that's coming up later in the show. But right now, let's go ahead and start the show with In the Know. Hit it.
Did you know? 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 Did you know?
Now, as you know, spring is the time to spring into action, as they always say. But but for some people, it's actually they don't feel too springy. They actually feel more congested because the allergies. This is definitely allergy season, exactly. But did you know that maps can show when allergy season will peak near you. A map. Can you believe that? That's right. So spring has sprung. Now, even though some of you all may be getting the sniffles and everything, but there's bad news for allergy sufferers. The worst is still to come. That's right. So multiple allergy forecasters indicate 2025 is likely to be pretty rough year for seasonal allergies. Pollen counts are expected to be higher than average in 39 states. Whoa. If you're stocking up on antihistamines and bracing for impact, AccuWeather put together 3 maps showing when common allergens are expected to peak across the continental U.S. Now, tree pollen is usually the first culprit to arrive on the scene, and it may already be starting to irritate your sinuses. Peak tree pollen season comes soonest to the southern states around early April before making its northward through the start of June. Now, grass pollen is up next, okay, peaking between May and July, depending on where you live. Now, before you can catch a break, here comes weed pollen, causing issues from mid to late summer. Now, nationwide allergy season is growing longer and more severe. Of the nearly 200 cities studied by Climate Central, the researchers found 87% have seen allergy season worsen since the 1970s. Whew. The biggest change have happened in the Northwest and Southwest. Now, it's not just that allergy season is growing longer. There's also evidence it's getting more intense. Now, one study looked at the impact of increased carbon dioxide on ragweed plants. It's found that with more carbon dioxide in the environment, ragweed plants grew larger and produced significantly more pollen. So, yes, so those people out there who, I know a few people. I think I got some cousins, who just have it bad when it comes to pollen season or spring or whatever. So yeah, listen. So everybody, just kind of be aware that it could be a little rougher this year. You know, they said it every year. So I guess each and every year it gets worse and worse. So just listen. Just keep your hankies, your tissues close, and stay squirting that stuff up your nose or whatever you do. Okay. All right. Moving along to some sadder news. So boxer George Foreman died, as you all may know by now, but boxer George Foreman, he died last Friday, according to the post on Athlete's official Instagram page. A native Texan, Foreman began his boxing career as an Olympic gold medalist. His family wrote on Instagram. They said, "Our hearts are broken. With profound sorrow, we announce the passing of our beloved George Edward Foreman Sr., who peacefully departed on March 21st, 2025, surrounded by loved ones. A devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great grandfather. He lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. A humanitarian, an Olympian, and 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. He was deeply respected. A force for good, a man of discipline, conviction, and a protector of his legacy, fighting tirelessly to preserve his good name for his family. We are grateful for the outpouring of love and prayers and kindly ask for privacy as we honor the extraordinary life of a man we were blessed to call our own." So that was a message from his family. Definitely missing him. George Foreman, I definitely remember him. George Foreman, a fearsome heavyweight loss for the Rumble in the Jungle to Muhammad Ali before his inspiring second act as a 45-year-old champion and a successful businessman. He was 76. Foreman was the face of George Foreman Grill, a cookie machine that sold more than 100 million units. The details on his death were not made immediately clear. So it's so funny. And I definitely knew that he was a boxer, but I definitely remember him. I remember him more from the George Foreman grills because those commercials was heavy in rotation back in the day. So, oh my gosh. So my heart condolences goes out to the Foreman family and just everybody, friends and family who loved him so dearly. So rest in peace, George Foreman. All right, everybody. On to some other could be also sad news for some people as well, is that the downtown Brooklyn Macy's to close this weekend. So it closed this past weekend, everybody, after nearly 3 decades. So if you all live in Brooklyn or just New York and you did go to the Macy's, the downtown Macy's in Brooklyn over the years, it's closed. That's right. It's the end of a nearly 3-decade run for the Macy's in downtown Brooklyn. The store will close its doors for good, like I said, this past Sunday. Now, Macy's took over the historic building in 1995 after it originally housed the first Abraham and Strauss department store, also known as A&S. The downtown Brooklyn Macy's was one of 66 locations nationwide deemed underproductive and set to close in the first quarter of 2025. It was a quote: "Closing any store is never easy, but as part of our bold new chapter strategy, we are closing unproductive Macy's stores to allow us to focus our resources and prioritize investments in our go forward stores," said the chairman and chief executive officer of Macy's Inc. So listen, as you all know, over my last few shows, I've been talking about just a lot of closing of department stores and restaurants. This is a sign of the times, people. I'm just saying, this is a sign of the times, because Macy's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, it's rather shocking, because I mean, I know that, online shopping is easier, but I would still think that people would still want to get out and shop, just to see people, to browse, to be able to touch things, to be nosy, but it's very interesting, because it seems like the Gen Z, like the younger generation, I don't think they're going to malls. Like my generation and before, and maybe a little after my generation, they're not really going to malls anymore. They just want to stay at home on the PlayStation. So yeah, these stores are closing down. So this is a sign of the times. I'm just saying, and you are now in the know. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, everybody. So listen, I'm always looking to have people on my show as a guest. That's right. I want to, hear what hear about your lives. I want to just know about you, basically. So anyway, so I also love to have guest hosts on the show. So check this promo out about how you can be a guest host on the show. Check this out. Calling all guest hosts. What's up, everybody? It's your guy Z Fly, and I want to keep it real hot and fresh with you. Now, do you have what it takes to bring the real talk to the table? Here's your chance to co-host alongside me in our exciting segment called Real Talk. Now, I'm looking for dynamic, passionate, and fun individuals to join me on air. Now, if you got the vibe and the voice, I want to hear from you. Okay, it's really easy to apply. All you got to do is submit your picture, submit a short bio, and either your Facebook, X, or Instagram handle to book a host at flyentertainment.media. Now, this is your chance to shine and share your perspective on some of the hottest topics today. Now, let's make it real hot and freaky fresh together. I can't wait to see what you bring to the mic. So apply today. There you have it. All right. Also, everybody, definitely be sure to stick around, because guess what? I have another segment of rising stars and local gems. But today I have a double whammy. That's right. I have two great guests who are rising stars, who are going to be talking about their entrepreneurship and also being a musical artist. So you definitely want to stick around for that. I have Christina Artwell here, and also a rapper, singer, and so much more, Elkie. So yeah, the rising stars and local gems segment is on fire today. So definitely stick around for that. But right now, I have your cringe of the day. Hit it. Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God. 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 Oh, my God.
Yeah, this is definitely an oh, my God moment. Because listen, as you all know, it has always been, kind of like put in our head that, when it comes to male and female, males, you don't talk about women, you don't ask them about their weight. You don't say how they, about their appearance. You don't talk about their hair. You don't talk about nothing. You just leave women over there. So a woman will let you know, what time it is. But for whatever reason, it seems like it's all fair game when it comes to a man, right? Now, listen, I know out in public in society, men act like they're brick walls. Nothing bothers us, but trust me, a lot bothers us. We're not all brick walls. So, it's very interesting how, women feel that they can say whatever to a man. But like I said, men can't say whatever to women. So check out this cringy video on just that, how both sexes, they just can't seem to get it together. Check this video out.
I don't want a man who's only going to judge me based on my size.
You just called him short. We don't want a woman that's only gonna base us based off our height. I'm the same way he doesn't qualify for you. With your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for.
Give me a second.
That's okay.
Do you want a hug? Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny? I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Can I go?
The most attractive men you would ever see, I would turn them down immediately over like some like mid white boy.
So you've just made a categorization. So you said there's beautiful men and there's mid men. Why are you able to make an objective determination about someone's physical appearance, but you can't do that to yourself?
I will always consider myself a 10. I do what I want with the way I look.
But how can, if it's...
Bro, you can knock down these specifics. You want me to say I'm like a 9? I don't care what you say. I really don't care what you think about how I look.
That's fine.
Are you alright?
Well, it's kind of like stressful. You're putting me on a podcast to debate how I look, and I've already said I don't care.
No. We talked about
How much longer are you gonna go on about it? I don't give a. Call me an 8. I don't care what you want to call me. I already said that I think I'm a 10, and this discussion is really pointless.
So this is your cringe of the day. So I guess what we learned from this is when the truth hurts, cry. It's crazy right now. The girls, they're saying, things they don't like about men. Oh, I don't want a short man. Oh, I don't want a beautiful man, or whatever they were saying. But whenever the men ask things about them, they're crying. So women, listen, I know that this is still Women's History Month, but women, I'm just saying, if it's too hot in the kitchen, you might need to exit. Okay. All right. And that is your cringe of the day. All right, everybody. So we're going to keep this show moving right to the next segment. Like I told you, today I have rising stars and local gems. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hit it. Yes, definitely hand claps. I'm so happy because our first guest, she is a creative strategist and consultant who partners with artists, small businesses, and community-based organizations to develop impact programs, events, and campaigns over the past several years. Now, she's also focused on building work that fosters collaboration, uplifts communities, and drives sustainable change. Her work often lives at the intersection of social justice, economic development, events, and educational reform, creating platforms that re-educate our communities in better practices, trades, and ways of life that support collective thriving. That's right. She currently runs the Artwell Creative, where she creates events, media, and experiences that center community, culture, nonprofits, and small businesses. So as y'all can see, this is definitely a Jane of all trades for Women's History Month. So everybody, with no further ado, I want to welcome the one and only Christina Artwell to the Keepin It Real Hot and Fresh show. There she is.
That introduction, thank you.
Yes, Christina, how are you? You look amazing.
I'm well, Z. I'm well. How are you today?
Listen, you know me, always real hot, fresh, or at least try to be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got it. You got it. I heard the segments before.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? I know. Listen, always something, right?
Always something, but I love it.
Great. Well, I love that you are here. Thank you so much for being here. Now, Christina, your work spans multiple industries from social justice to economic development and even planning. Now, what inspired you to merge these elements into your work, and how do you see them complementing each other? Let's just get into
it. I would say that I hopped into social justice more so during the pandemic, literally at the peak or the top as soon as it started of the pandemic. It broke my heart that a lot of people still had to pay for their spaces, still had to pay for things, and the city was shut down. And in my head, I'm like, how they gonna make money? How am I
Right.
make money? How anybody's gonna make money during this time when we're all just trying to figure out how to breathe, how to like live, how to even just figure out how to battle germs and things. I'm just like, you still want us to pay something?
Right.
So it really had me question how our city runs. How do we need to like live together? How do we literally live in a community and society together? And I started doing my research of like what they did during past epidemics and during wars. And it really took us communicating with each other, telling each other what we all offer, and figuring out ways to really amplify what we each do. So I had my camera. I wasn't really too good, and I'm still like, learning and getting better and buying better equipment. But for the most part, I had my camera, and I said, okay, cool. I can make some flyers real fast. I know how to staff and recruit people. I got like a small network, but let me see if I could outreach and do some photos, do some videos for people, and create some flyers for their social media, since that was going to be the main way that we were going to communicate with each other. So I really kept it to small businesses at first because I'm like, all right, cool. Let's try to figure out how to get you some money. Let's figure out how to advertise. Then I realized in that work that nonprofits actually have a lot of the resources that we need, but no one knows which nonprofits are really out there and doing stuff.
See what I'm talking about?
So I was just like, all right, cool. Let me take my camera over there and my energy and efforts and what I've been learning over the years and really try to help nonprofits, get more out there with what they do. And they have so many resources available. So I said, let me at least try to like carry some on my back and promote it on my pages, create some beautiful media for them to promote. And I've just kept at it. And I've always been an event planner, starting first in fashion and then going towards like actual catering and special events. So I just brought that element in there too. And like, hey, let's do some pop-ups and let's capture what we're doing and let's get out there and talk to community and actually work and play and develop and talk with community.
So now speaking of catering, so now I know that you had something called something with the hospitality and bartender one-on-one training series.
Yes.
Now that seemed like really an exciting initiative. So now, can you tell us more about what participants can expect from the program and how it equips with essential skills?
Sure. So we're working out all the kinks right now, making sure to have all the proper permits when we do go to our locations. But for the most part, in that workshop, people can expect basics of hospitality. So hospitality 101 and bartending 101 in the same workshop. So basically, I'll be teaching like steps of service alongside other professionals in hospitality. Steps of service include like how to welcome people as a server or a bartender, how to make sure to, tell them the menu, tell them their offerings, make sure they feel comfortable, make sure they have their water, make sure they have their forks, their spoons, anything necessary depending on the space that you're working in. Make sure that the guests feel comfortable. So you're learning basics of hospitality in that way. Even for events, like making sure like if you're just serving, like making sure the area is clean, making sure like you just pay attention. So developing your awareness and wherewithal when it comes to being in a space and serving and just making sure people feel welcomed. Right. So that's one part. And then bartending 101, anything that you would learn in a bartending school, but just more specific. So it's learning your basic counts, learning what a liqueur is, what liquor is, how each thing is made, what their flavor base is, and then even just going into how to make certain cocktails. What wines do you serve and how to serve them? Where do they come from? How to describe the taste, how to describe the aroma. So just basics, just the basics of hospitality, basics of bartending, learning how to serve people, learning how to make them feel welcomed, and almost like a little family gathering. You want to make sure good. You want to make sure your dad is good. You want to make sure everybody's good. So how do you elevate that experience for people and actually make them feel good and want to come back for more? So.
Now with that, how does the hospitality and the bartender 101 training series, how does it align with your larger mission of community building and substantial change?
So with this workshop, I want to educate people in ways that I've won and been able to make money. Hospitality there's always a need for servers. There's always a need for event people. Even too, like you could take hospitality to even production sets. Like I want people to learn the basics so they could actually have more wherewithal when it comes to the job market and just being able to be a viable candidate for these companies. So it's really about job access and education and knowledge building for them. And I want to bestow people another way to make some income and actually know what they're doing.
I know that's right. Now listen, now Christina, now now you're always doing something. Now you also have an upcoming charity event coming up.
Yes.
Now, so can you share more details about the cause? Also, what attendees can expect, and how people can get involved or support the initiative.
So for the most part, this is with one of the nonprofits that I'm partnering with to also do the hospitality workshops. But they're looking to host monthly, if not bi-monthly parties where people could come, network, meet industry professionals, both in the nonprofit sector, both in media and in other fields, and really just turn up. So it's like a community happy hour in essence, affordable donation tickets. So donation based, of course, but you could come, meet me, meet a few other professionals, even meet someone that you never know that you're probably going to work with in the next few months or so. So just a beautiful event that people could come, party, network, and taste our cocktails that we're learning how to make from the workshop.
Right. Okay. So now we definitely got to, just really highlight what we see in front of us, the Artwell Creative.
Oh.
Now running the Artwell Creative, you focus on creating events and media that center around cultural and community. So now tell us what's next for you and your company, and how do you see your work evolving in the near future?
So by the grace of God, my work is evolving because I have paperwork currently in the works or processing for becoming a DOE vendor. I know too that there's some talks with Trump about DOE and stuff, but in the meantime, I know that they can't get rid of programs and cut it like that. So I'm in the process of actually getting working more closely with schools, so I can teach youth. I've done a youth program with several nonprofits before, more so summer youth. So now I could actually work toe in toe and hand in hand with schools to provide them more direct resources in media, art, acting, music, dance. So all the creative and recreational fields. I work with community partners who run theater spaces, who teach mental health workshops as well. So truth be told, we're all going through a lot. So I can only imagine what these youth are going through. So I work hand in hand with a lot of community organizations and specialists to make sure the kids are taken care of, like 360, from mental to creative to input to output. I'm happy that I can say my organization is developing to work with schools and continuing to work with nonprofits and doing these beautiful events and workshops to educate.
Wow, I love it. You do so much. You're a Jane of so many trades. What is one thing, what's fulfilling for you about it? Just helping, giving back to the community. I guess what's that feeling that you have whenever you know that you're on a mission to help people in the community?
That's a great question.
Well, thank you. I'll try to have one in there.
No, all of them are great. You're funny. I think I was talking with another nonprofit person before. I think she was like the program manager or something, but I was working like an open streets event doing photography. And also too, I was a part of the planning process for one of the events. So it was just beautiful to see something come to fruition that community can enjoy, giving people other options and inspiration to know that there's so much more to life than just your day-to-day of what school or even maybe some people in your life have taught you. Right. So I think just really, it makes me feel good when people get inspired to think different, move different, and really find ways to better and help themselves. Like, I'm figuring it out each day, but when I find better options and better routines and better habits and just better resources, I feel good and I'm healthier and I'm happier, and I just want people to feel the same. So
exactly. I love it. Everybody, this is Christina Artwell, founder of the Artwell Creative. Now, Christina, yes, definitely let them know where they can find you, but it's right here at the bottom. But if you want to say it, let them know where they can find you, and then any maybe last minute thoughts or sayings you want to give to the people.
Well, you can find me on social media at Artwell, ARTWELL Creative, CAREATIVE. So literally the name of my brand and company. You could also find me at my personal from the Amazon official. That's where I post too sometimes. And two, you could find me working with Center for New Leadership. So we're usually in Bed-Stuy or Bushwick area working and doing events. So look up the Center for New Leadership, and that's NU Leadership. Center for New Leadership, that's one of my biggest and most favorite community partners. And we have a lot upcoming this year. So.
Okay. Sounds good, everybody. So Christina Artwood is definitely the one you want to follow. That's right. Entrepreneur and beyond. She's doing great things in the community. Christina, thank you so much for keeping it real hot.
Thank you guys for having me.
Very soon.
Yes, no, thank you for having me. You guys take care and all the best.
Yes. Thank you. All right, everybody. So if you're all, interested in being on the show as a rising star, you know what I'm saying, letting us know what you do, your craft, your talent, whatever, then you might want to check out this promo. So check this out on how you can be on the show. Are you a talented artist, entrepreneur, or business owner in the NYC or tri-state area? Do you have a craft, skill, or product that deserves the spotlight? Well, if you answer yes to just one of those, this is your time to shine. Hello, I'm Z-Fly, and I'm bringing you Rising Stars and Local Gems, a platform dedicated to highlighting and promoting the best local talent and businesses making moves in our community. Now, I also want to know, do you have a craft or product in need of promotion? Are you an artist, musician, designer, chef, or entrepreneur or more looking for exposure? And do you want to be featured on a show that's all about keeping it real hot and fresh? Once again, if you answer yes to just one, this is your chance to shine. So come share your journey, showcase your talent, and let the world know what you bring to the table. So DM us now or email us at bookmenext@aol.com. Or you can catch us live on Fly World Media by going to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Real Hot Fresh. We're highlighting stars and local gems where talent meets opportunity. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're keeping it real hot and fresh with the best. That's right. I'm your guy, Z-Fly, and you are on Fly World Media. And right now, we are keeping it moving, continuing with Rising Stars and Local Gems segment. Right now, I do have another rising star. His name is Elkie. He's a singer, he's a rapper, and an entertainer from Brooklyn, New York. That's right. Combining soothing vocals with a melodic rap style and meaningful lyrics. He is ushering in an era of authenticity and the entertainment business. He is also well known online for his personality and likes to share entertaining content to better connect with his online community. So listen, everybody, he's doing a lot, okay? And listen, he wants to connect with you all today. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Elkie to the show.
Hey,
there
what's going on? What's up?
Elkie, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Life is good.
Good.
Feeling
you know
blessed.
what? That's right. Life is good. Good vibes only. Now, also, everybody, just to let you know. So now, Elkie, I met him. It was last weekend, right? Like last weekend or a weekend or so ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not. It was a weekend or so ago at a pop-up shop. He was one of the artists at the pop-up shop, and he did such an amazing job. I said, "Oh no, listen, we gotta have him on the show." And here he is today. So, Elkie, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
No problem. So listen, let's just go ahead and get into it. So now listen, your music blends soothing vocals with a melodic rap style, creating a unique and authentic sound. Because listen, I was like, okay, I see what he's doing. So now how did you develop this signature style, and what influences have you shaped your artistry?
So I would say it definitely comes from a repetition, practice over the years. And the first artist that got me into singing, funny enough, was Michael Jackson. Even though that might be a little bit before my time.
Right.
But I had a music class, and the teacher kept playing one of his songs in the class. And on the lunch line, it was stuck in my head, so I'd be singing along to it. And people were like, hey, you could sing,
Right.
And that's when I first started exploring singing, because I was always a writer. So that's how I started.
Exactly. Well, but you know what? Actually, that's not too hard to believe because Michael Jackson, MJ, his music lives on forever. So you know what I'm saying. I mean, generations from now will know Michael D. Jackson. So that's what's up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's talk about some of your releases. So now your latest release, Champagne Bottles, featuring is it Chichi Lovato?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that dropped just in time for Valentine's Day. Now, what was the inspiration behind that song, and what message did you want listeners to take away from it?
You know, it's funny. I'm glad you asked me that because
that's right.
a lot of times I write songs. Sometimes I just use my imagination or I just let something flow through me. But in this instance, I had an actual muse. There was a young lady I was talking to at the time, and I had just came off of something before. So in the intro of the song, I say something like, try not to overthink it. Can't be, looking at thinking about your text and, giving you a chance won't compare you to my exes. So I was thinking about giving each person their own opportunity when you date them, when you meet them, and not, thinking about the last relationship. You got to just
like so many do, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And I love champagne. So, and I always, I love champagne. I love the classy stuff. If you want to get romantic, get a nice jacuzzi. So I was thinking about that in my head. I wanted to do that with the girl.
Okay.
So that's how it came about.
Okay, and then that's great, you know what I'm saying? And then right around Valentine's Day, so yeah, it's the perfect match, the perfect blend. So okay, so now let's check this Champagne Bottles out. Let's see what you put down. So we got a quick clip of the video. So check this out.
Niggas know y'all can't fuck with useless.
Think it can't be waiting on your texts. Giving you a chance won't compare you to my exes. Got your own vibe, let's just live in the moment. You looking real fine, I wanna see you push a bonnet. Champagne bottles, can I pour you a glass? We sipping light tonight while I'm rubbing on your ass. Champagne bottles, can I pour you a drink? Freeing up your mind, baby, tell me what you think. Champagne bottles, can I pour you a...
Okay, let me tell you something. Lower bopping. Okay, so wait a minute now. So there was definitely a tease, everybody. So you definitely got to check that out. Okay, so now look, Elkie. So now for one thing, not the Tesla truck. Okay, you listen.
I had to come with the Sibisky. Yes, sir.
Wowza. Okay, yeah, you definitely, you're on another level. I love it. Now look, so now listen, you are not stopping there. You have so much more coming up. Now you have an upcoming release in April titled Deep Discussions. Now, can you give us a sneak peek into the vibe and theme of that song? Because now that's deep, now you're going from Champagne Bottles to Deep Discussions. So now what makes this track special compared to your previous work?
So I would say Deep Discussions was, although at this track I also had a muse, it's about a lady that I was dealing with at the time. It also speaks to the mindset. First, the mindset of young men sometimes when we date women, but then also something that happened. I know many people heard about, there's a news story where there were twins at the store and a guy wanted to get their number and they rejected him and he went and stabbed them. And one of the twins had died. So I was so mad about that at the time. And I wanted to talk about how we also have to value our women. We have to protect our women and how that's unacceptable. And at the same time, connected to the girl I was talking to because I felt like I needed to make sure she was safe. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was always making sure she got home safe. I was taking her home, making sure she was good because I ain't want nothing to happen to her neither. And she told me she didn't feel safe at night because dudes be trying to holler at night and shit. So it's telling that whole story. It's putting the two together.
That is so interesting. Listen, I think I did a topic recently, something about that. You know, how women just don't feel safe, you know, around men. You know what I'm saying? It's not even, you know, it's not even monsters or zombies. They don't feel comfortable around men, so that's a problem. Wow, so that's a real deep discussion. So now Elkie, so you know, you're not just a singer, you're not just a rapper, but also a full entertainer, bringing authenticity, which I love that, to the industry. Now, what does authenticity mean to you in today's music scene? And how do you ensure that you stay true to yourself while growing as an artist?
Well, I would say that authenticity to me is, first of all, unapologetic. You know, you have to be not who you think you need to be. You know, I think that's the key to it, is to be true to yourself. Even if, you know, some people might disagree with you, I think that's even better, because you don't want to be toeing the fence. It's better to have to know where you stand. So I think that's a big part of authenticity, and not really trying to be like everybody else. Just be who you are, truthfully.
Exactly. Well, Elke, you are definitely doing your thing in the industry. You know, I love your positive message. You know, the music thing actually needs someone like you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's okay to have fun and you know what I'm saying, drop it like it's hot and, you know, pop bottles, but then also, you know what I'm saying, bring it back to those deep discussions, you know what I'm saying, to that realness, and really let's, you know what I'm saying, let's talk about it. So now let everybody know, where can they find you next? You know, any events coming up? What's going on?
So it's funny enough, the pop-up shop where you saw me was my first performance in a while. It's been a minute, but I definitely want to get back out there more. I would just say, everybody, you know, follow me on Instagram at Elke the Creative, and I'm always going to keep updating. Whenever I'm going to go do a show, it's going to be on my story. And also check out my YouTube, Elke TV. That's where you can find my music. You can find my little entertainment videos, little fun stuff I like to do as well.
Right, exactly. Yes, everybody, yes, definitely go to his YouTube page and look at the whole video, because it is hot like fire. All right, once again, Elke, thank you so much for keeping it real hot and fresh in our Rising Star and Local Gems segment. I wish you all the best. And listen, I'm definitely going to be following your hustle. And so listen, don't be surprised, you know what I'm saying, in the future, you're back on the show again. I'm just saying.
Much appreciated, man. Thank you for having me as a guest, and great luck on your show, man. You're doing a great job breaking the news and keeping it real, man.
That's right, and fresh.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. Once again, this is Elke. Now, on everybody, be sure to stick around for after the music break. You know, I got that real talk. We got to get into these deep discussions. Okay, so stick around after the break, and we're keeping it raw and fresh.
All right.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to, well, actually not what time it is, but what time it has been for the last almost hour. It's time to keep it real hot and fresh. But right now, it's time to get into the real talk of it all. Okay, let's talk about it. Get it, hit it out, hit it. I'm shaking my head because it don't make any sense that every time I get on this show, each and every week, that this segment, I just got so much to talk about. I mean, what is happening in the world? Listen, people just do too much. But then again, I guess if they didn't do too much, I want to have this segment, right? So, so people keep doing your thing. So today we have two great topics. The first topic, we're talking about fathers. Yeah, we are. We're talking about fathers, and are they seen as second-class parents? Okay. Now, what you might mean, or what you might wonder what I mean by that is, what is a second-class parent? Is a parent that just don't really do anything. They're just there to fill in the blanks. They're just there to almost as a personal assistant or an assistant or a support system or something, because think about it. Whenever you think about dads, don't you think like they're just the ones that like they, like I said, they fill in the blanks. They just, if the child needs money, okay, here, they write a check. Oh, the child needs this. Okay. They'll use their muscle to help out, but they don't really like nurture. Now, not all. Okay. I always got to say that. Because it's true, not all. Now, there are really some hands-on dads somewhere out there in the world, but with the naked eye, don't we always saying that we don't really see them? So we always see them every now and then. Every blue moon, every green moon, you might see a hands-on dad. And isn't it something that whenever you do see a hands-on dad, like doesn't it like kind of make you do a double take? I know it does for me. Sometimes whenever I go on my daily walks, and sometimes whenever I'm walking around my neighborhood, and if I see a dad, there you go. I'm telling you that if I see a dad doing that right there, I kind of do a double take. Like, wow, he's actually, having, intimate time with their child. And that's sad. Do you know how sad that is? That whenever you see a dad having intimate time, personal time with their child, it's shocking. It should be. It's not normal. And that's not actually funny, people. It's not funny, but it's sad. It's really sad that because listen, I have seen dads, like in the stroller, they're pushing their child, and I do a double thing. Why am I laughing? This is not a laughing moment. It's really, really sad. But yeah, I don't know. And so that's why I say they're like second class parents, because who do you usually see? Dealing with the kids. Always the moms, right? Yeah, mothers seem to to have all the exclusive rights when it comes to children, while fathers just fill in the blanks. That's right. Because think about it. Even whenever mom and dads, they go to court, a lot of times the mom, she'll get custody unless she does a really, really bad mom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times whenever you hear that the dad got custody of children, something's wrong with that mom. But now also think about that. Why is it that the judge, most judges will always just give the mom custody? See, that says a lot in itself. Why not give it to the dad? Look at this picture right here. But the thing about it is, even though it's like shocking or like weird to see, but it's really good though. It really is good, because how many times have you heard people, or how many people do you know who complain about how their dad wasn't in their life, or, oh, I wish my dad would have did this? I've heard people say, they wish they would have had more love from their dad. They wish their dad would have said, I love you. Or, I don't know why a lot of times dads, it's so hard for them to show emotion and love. But here's the weird thing about it. Okay, are y'all ready for this? The weird thing is these dads were once boys, right? They were once children wanting and needing and yearning from that love from their dad, right? So they know how it feels to want that love from your dad. But then the sad thing is, but then they grow up and do the same thing to their children that their dad possibly did to them. See, it's a bad generational curse, as they say. But look at this. See, it's a really good picture, and and it really does help children, girls and boys, sons and daughters. One of their dads are there. One of their dads are present. A lot of times with females, with daughters, they look at their dads. You hear it all the time. Depending on how their dad was, that is the kind of man that they may have one day in their life, or that's how they'll interact with boys, or how much they'll let boys do to them, depending on how good their dad is. And then also with sons, depending on how well their dad is, that's how they're going to treat women. That's the type of wife they're going to seek. So dad is really a very vital part in a child's life, but for some reason they become second class parents, as I say, but they're very vital. And it's so interesting to me because, as we all know, that males, look at that, see? And, and also too, you've been hearing a lot the term daddy's girl. Is that it? A daddy's girl? Or no, not a daddy's girl. A girl dad. Yeah, a girl dad. Meaning that, this man has a daughter. And one thing I do like about some celebrities out there, because, a lot of times celebrities, good or bad, they can really, press, or they can really start the tone of what the, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. Anyway, the point is, they can really set the tone for what the trend. That's it, the trend. Yeah, they can really set the tone for what the trend is going to be, for society. And people like The Rock, and I know other people too. I've heard other celebrities say it, how they say that they're a girl dad, and they're not ashamed of it. They're very happy to notate that they are a girl dad. And, now one thing about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, I love about him is he's so confident and so, I'm losing my words right in front of you, ain't I? So confident and, so at ease at who he is. He let his daughters, have makeup time with him. I'm pretty sure y'all seen it on Instagram or wherever, where he'll just sit there and let his daughter just play makeup time. And that's, and really at the end of the day, that's okay. Because at the end of the day, you should be very comfortable with yourself as a man that, okay, I don't wear makeup. I'm just letting it's fun for my daughters. They're having fun putting makeup on me. We're having tea time. I don't know why men feel like there's something wrong to do that with your daughters. I mean, you have daughters. They're not like sons. They're not going to want to do so much rough things all the time. So do things that daughters like to do. Male men, they're so eager to make babies, right? Listen, they like making the babies, but they don't want to have the responsibility to take care of them. Now some people say that I've called people out. I don't call nobody out. I don't say no names. I just call out situations. Okay. So I ain't calling names. But yeah, I know someone. This show is a mess. I'm telling you. Listen, but yeah, I know someone. She's married to this man, and they have daughters. Yeah, I'm not saying no names, but he don't really want to do anything with the daughters. He would never allow the daughters to put makeup on his face or whatever, or paint his nails. Because he don't know how to get out of his manhood. It's just so ridiculous. Like, we know that you don't wear makeup, and we know that you don't dress as drag, but you're doing this for your daughters. Really, it really shows more of who you are as a man whenever you allow these things. But we be like, oh, no, that's for you and your mom. Why? Why gotta be for the mom for? Why can't you just sit there and let so anyway, so the point is, so yeah, The Rock and all these other celebrities who are girl dads, yeah, keep doing things with your daughters. Have tea time. Let them paint your face. Because at the end of the day, you can just go wash it off. I mean, what's the big deal? It's just so ridiculous. And like I said, men, they love to make babies, but you don't want the responsibility. So that's why I say, are you a second class parent? Because you like making the babies, but then once you make it, you look at the mom like, okay, well, I made it, so now it's up to you. Now look, then again, I hate to say it, but that's kind of what animals do, isn't it? Maybe, so maybe it's kind of in the DNA a little bit. Because think about all the animals, the male, they'll make the baby with the female. And then don't you see the female raising the youngster? That kind of happened in the animal kingdom. That's interesting, isn't it? So that goes to show. So then, you wonder. So are males, men, are they just doing what's naturally in them? But I don't know though, because an animal and an actual human being, like, still we know what's right and wrong. Animals are just animals, But men know, because like I said, there's emotions there's feelings, and whenever you just you're not there for your child, they feel it. So no, I don't know if just because animals do it, it's right for like human beings. No, I don't think. I don't agree with that. Also, too, in my opinion, and Z-Fly's opinion, I think a big disservice happens to young boys. Whenever whenever society or parents or whomever, a big disservice is whenever they don't allow young boys to not babysit. Once again, what's wrong with babysitting? Because I feel like whenever girls do it, right? And see, girls do it, and it's also a way to, start to care and understand how to one day take care of children or whatever. That's why maybe a lot of times so many women are able to nurture and have that maternal instinct, because they babysit or they did this. A lot of times boys, they don't get that same service. A lot of times people aren't thinking, okay, yeah, let so-and-so go babysit so-and-so. Now, sometimes it might be, if they have siblings, like younger siblings, and maybe the older boy, okay, listen, babysit your siblings, I got to go to work. Things like that. So that kind of helps as well. But then actually, going out and babysit, why not? I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you what I think. A lot of times people think, oh, that's weak. That looks weak for a male. But think about what you're saying. It looks weak for a male to take care of another human being. That's all they're doing. You're just taking care of, you're watching over another human being. To me, I think that's a disservice that parents don't allow their boys to do, because that gets them ready for, to have that paternal instinct. I know how to raise, whenever I was younger, I helped raise my siblings. Or when I was younger, I babysat, the neighbor's child. Or what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that, because as you see, as they get older, now they're so far removed of, caring for or raising another human being, they don't even know what to do. How many dads do you know that be like, oh, those are your children, I don't know what to do? Like I said, I ain't calling nobody out, but I know some dads who don't even want to change their own children, don't want to change their own children's pamper. They scared to take them to the bathroom, to use the bathroom. They don't want to do nothing with them. And why? Because like I said, they're so far removed of that paternal instinct, of that, being around children, taking care of children. See, a lot of moms, they fall right into it, because they're like, hey, listen, I did this. Listen, at age 6, I was babysitting people. Listen, I was changing diapers at age 9. They're used to it. So why do we take that from our sons when they're also, can be parents one day? They don't need to learn how to change diapers. They don't need to learn how to care for their offspring. Okay. A lot of males will say, oh, it's a female's place. Well, how is it a female's place when you also help make that child? Did she make it by herself? But it's a female's place. So that's why I say a lot of dads are second-class parents. I really wish that our court system. Now I know a lot of guys not gonna like when I say this, but I really wish a lot of the court system would be more tougher and harder on child support. Whenever these dads don't want to, if they don't or they can't pay child support, I wish there was something that will almost make the dads be in the child's life or something of that sort, where it's not just so easy breezy, where you just see single moms raising children that they made with a dad. And the dad, he just gone about his business, either making more children that he's not going to take care of or just living his life. While the mom, she's stuck at home. So yeah, second class parents. Let me know what you all think. Do y'all think I'm wrong on this? Huh? Or do you think I could, have something with it? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Most of y'all think I'm just talking out of my head most of the times, but okay. I'm talking out of my head, but then when you go look in people's houses, you see children who are sad because their dad isn't there. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next topic, everybody. So now let's talk about some of these movies that we are seeing. That's right. Now, I want to know, is Hollywood, are they running out of ideas? I want to know. So now with so many classic movies being remade and the plot lines recycled, that's right. We are seeing it. You know what? Woo! I'll tell you, my crew, they're on it. Yeah, they're out of listen, not change the Hollywood style to all out of ideas. I'm sick of it. I'm done. I am retiring after this show. Okay, this is the last show for this forever. Yeah, they're out of ideas. And it's so sad because it's like, okay, where's the originality? They just keep remaking all of these movies. Okay. So as y'all know, they have remade a lot of stuff. Now let's start with the Lion King. Now, you remember back in the day, I don't know what was it, the 90s, I guess. We know whenever they made the cartoon animated Lion King. But then I think recently I think this is the recent one where it's like this, it's still animated, but it's like that new type of animation. The Lion King, they remade that. Mean Girls, Mean Girls was something back in the day with Lindsay Lohan, but yeah, they remade that recently. They remade the movie Jumanji. Jumanji, and they also remade with The Rock. I think I've seen that. It was okay, but it wasn't the same I guess that's the point, right? It don't supposed to be the same, but it was okay. But I like the original better. Dune. Now, let me tell you something funny about Dune. Now, whenever I first started watching Dune, because I know that this is the one I wanted to watch, this version right here. But for some reason, I don't know how, I actually watched the original Dune. So I was like, okay, this was really old. And then I said, okay, and then I was looking for, I can't even think of these actors. I know their names, but I can't think of their name. But yeah, I was looking for those two actors, the girl and the boy. I was looking for them. I said, well, when did they come in? Listen, I was on the wrong version or the wrong make. I was on the original version. So finally, I didn't watch it the same day, but eventually I ended up watching this Dune. But now I will say this Dune is good. Now the original one, I was lost. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what is this? It was so dated. But this one right here, the newest ones, part 1 and part 2, I really did like. Ghostbusters. I never really been into Ghostbusters, but I know that they originally remade that. The Karate Kid. I might have watched that back in the day, the original, but I don't even really know. I can't even tell you. Listen. I know that is really bad. I know the Karate Kid is big, and I can't even really remember watching it. But whatever. Beauty and the Beast. I do remember this. The original animated one. Yeah, this one was the original one. But then they remade it, recently. I haven't seen the remake. And I haven't seen the remake of The Little Mermaid either. Now there you go. That's the original right there. Now the remake is with one of the Baileys. Listen, I don't know if it's Chloe or the other twin. I don't know. Okay, listen, I'm not keeping up with stuff. Y'all have to sue me later. But of course, the original was good. Now I haven't seen the remake. I kind of do want to see it. Just because they made they made the mermaid a black girl. So that's something to see in itself. And also, too, you know, it's not as animated like this one. It's actually, you know, whatever you call it. A Star is Born, you know, with Lady Gaga and what's his face? I don't know nobody's names, do I? I really don't. Listen, these people, I be forgetting these people's names. But y'all know who it is. Yeah, they remade that as well. And now let's get to this next one, Snow White. Now, let me tell you something, people. Now, there are some remakes that you need to leave alone. Because have y'all heard about Snow White? Wow, this right here did horrible in the theater. Now, I could be wrong. Now, I don't know if that girl is Hispanic or what. But see, you know, some stuff you just don't want to touch. I heard that they put like close to $250 million into making this movie. But they only grossed like $2.4 million. Yeah, and I mean, it has a low rate on the box office, IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes. They gave it a low score. So yeah, it didn't do good at all. So, you know, I don't know if like Hollywood is thinking like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? The wave is remaking old classics, but it ain't working. Also, too, now, just to read a few more, you know, that's not on this list. You know, they remade the movie Psycho. They remade The Wicker Man. They remade The Stepford Wives, Planet of the Apes, The Omen. You know, so those are just some other, The Lady Killers, House of Wax. So, you know, those are just some other movies that have been made. But yeah, Hollywood remake. So I don't know. But you know what? Now, to just play devil's advocate just a little bit, I think that maybe Hollywood do some of these remakes is because, you know, as time go on, as things evolve, you know, like I said, you know, see, I remember, like, for example, the original Lion King or the original Jumanji or the original Little Mermaid. You know, I remember those things. But then as time go on, you have different generations. Maybe they remake some of these things for that generation. Because, see, like this newer generation, you know, whenever they grow up and tell their kids about Jumanji or Mean Girls, they're going to probably think of this newer remake. You know, they're not going to think of the original because, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't their time. So I guess if you look at it that way, maybe, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, oh, you know, yeah, back in my day, the Little Mermaid looked like this, and Jumanji was this, and Mean Girls was this, and so forth, and Snow White, well, was this. But then again, I don't know, because like I said, Snow White didn't do good at all. But I guess if you think of it like that, it makes sense. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you all think about these Hollywood remakes. You know, should they just leave well enough alone, or should they remake it, you know, for the newer and future generations? You know, let me know down in the chat. All right. But we're going to have a quick music break. Whenever I get back, I got some Drunk Off the Juice. And also I have my last I Am My Ancestors' Wildest Dream coming up as well, representing Women's History Month. All that's still to come on Keeping It Real Hot and Fresh. Y'all know, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Walk a mile in these Louboutins, but they don't wear these shits where I'm from. I'm not hating, I'm just telling you. I'm trying to let you know what the fuck that I've been through.
2 feet in the red dirt, school skirt, sugar cane, back lane. Free job took years to save, but I got a ticket on that plane. People got a lot to say, but don't know shit about where I was made, or how many floors that I had to scrub just to make it past where I am from.
No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami, no money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami, no money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami, 16 in the middle of Miami.
I've been up all night, trying to get there rich. I've been working on my shit. Milk the whole game twice, gotta get it how I live. I've been working on my shit.
Now get this work. Now get this
struggle is the only thing I'm trusting. Thoroughbred in the mud brick before the budget. White chick on that pack shit. My passion was ironic and my dreams weren't coming. Guess I gone crazy. First still changed me. Rob line basically raped me. Most of the bullshit like a matador. Just made me mad and inanimate to go at him and even a scuff. So I went harder. Studied the Carter till the deal was offered. Slept cold on the floor, recording at 4 in the morning. Now I'm passing the bar like a liar. Immigrant or ignorant. Your ill intent was insurance for my benefit. Hate to be inconsiderate, but the industry took my innocence. Too late, now I'm in this bitch.
You don't know the half. This shit get real. Valley girls giving blowjobs for Louboutins. What you call that? Head over heels. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami. No money, no family. 16 in the middle of Miami.
I've been up all night, trying to get that rich. I've been working on my shit. Milk the whole game twice, gotta get it how I live. I've been working on my shit. Now get this work. Now get this work. Now get this work. Now get this work. Working on my shit. Pledge allegiance to the struggle. Ain't been easy, but cheese to peasy for the weeks we lived out in Duffel. Begs is all we had to do, anything for my mom, I love you. One day I'll pay you back for the sacrifice that you managed to muscle. 16, he sent me the customs.
So, all aboard my spaceship to Mercury.
Turn first at the light that's in front of me. Cause every night I'ma do it like it's my last. This dream is all that I need, cause it's all that I ever had.
Now get this work.
Now get this work.
Now get this work.
Now get this work.
Working on my shit. Now get this work. Now get this work. Now get this work. Now get this work. Working on my shit.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. And you know, this is one of the best parts of the show for me. Why? Because I now get to get you drunk off the juice. Hit it. All right, everybody. Singer Ashanti jokes about her timeline for having more kids with Nelly. Let me tell you something. Now, since they got back, she is not playing around. She's like, listen, I lost him once before. I'm about to lock this down. That's right. Ashanti has dropped heavy hints about wanting to expand her family with Nelly. In recent weeks, she opened up at least twice about having 1 or 2 more children. She echoed that she echoed that desire while on the red carpet with her husband at the iHeart Music Radio Awards on March 17th. As mentioned, the couple paused their red carpet strut to speak to E! News. At one point, the reporter said she heard Nelly wanted more kids and turned to ask Ashanti her thoughts. The singer immediately replied, "Let's go," while the rapper clarified that it was the other way around. They both laughed, but Ashanti also tripled down, wanting to spin the mommy block again. She said her son makes her want to have 1 or 2 more. They welcomed their son Kareem in July 2024, but fans have yet to catch a sneak peek at their mini-me. I'm so happy for Ashanti, because it's very interesting, right? How they say that saying, if you let them go and if they come back, then it was meant to be. So. Ashanti, she's definitely had a great career in singing and other things as well. Well, and you know what? No shady. Okay, I'm not gonna be shady. Yeah, she has had a great career in singing, but and other things as well. But so I'm really happy that what I'm saying, that like she's really finding her happy space. And a lot of times, whenever you hear women like, what I'm saying, they just ready to just have more kids, like like a Sierra. Sierra. She's another one, they're very happy. They're just popping out kids. They have a great man. They have a great career and they're happy. And you can tell when she's happy. So kudos to Ashanti and Nelly and possible more babies in the near future. All right, let's move on to social media is weighing in after Felicia Rashad shared her thoughts on the way young ladies dress. That's right. Now, They weighed in on Felicia and they shared their thoughts. Now, she shared her thoughts on Thursday, March 20th on The Breakfast Club, released an exclusive interview with Felicia. During the conversation, Charlamagne the God expressed to Rashad that previously dignity and grace were everything. Okay, so he said, do you ever look at how Hollywood is now and think to yourself, boy, got it easy. Y'all wouldn't have gotten away with that back in the day. In response, Rashad explained that she doesn't have to look at Hollywood. Instead, she can just look at the way young ladies dress. Now, she was quoted saying, the young ladies are so beautiful, she said, and something has happened in popular culture, and I don't mean to be critical, and I hope young ladies listening don't take this the wrong way or personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. But you're young queens. And as she continued, Rashad explained that she's taken aback when she sees young women dressed in strips of clothing on college campuses. Okay. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that, she said. Now, let me tell you something. Now, this is interesting because, I know like a lot of times a lot of ladies, young women, they don't like to hear people telling them, how they're dressing, how they look. They're like, listen, I can dress how I want to look. This is me. This is a new generation. We'll just deal with it. But like I told you, a week or so ago, when I went to the Millennium Tour, I told you that I was like taken aback myself on how some of those women were dressed. And I mean, that's a concert, but still, it's like, where's your dignity? Now, of course, social media, listen, they have a lot to say. So they definitely weighed in on what Felicia Rashad had to say. One Instagram user said, an elder has spoken with the hand clap emoji. Another one said, she's not wrong, and I like her tone. Another one said, we can speak feminism all day, but the truth is the truth. Another said, not Felicia slander will ever be tolerated. She said what she said. Another person said, the youth definitely needs this type of guidance. While another said, our girl said what she said, but in a loving and mothering way, because the fact of the matter is, it's all the truth. And we love her for that. So it looks like, a lot of people are actually condoning what Felicia Rashad said about how women are dressing. And, and now Felicia said that she saw how the women are dressing on college campuses. Woo! I'll tell you, they just don't care. And you know what? Now, I will echo this. She's very right. Men do not want women like that. Now, listen, a lot of men, they may indulge in it. They may be like, oh, yeah, I want my girl to look like this. A lot of times it's for sexual purposes. But whenever a man is really ready to settle down, to date, to marry that woman, most men don't want women looking like that. So women, keep that in mind, that whenever you are looking these ways, Harley dressed up, and yes, you may get a lot of male attention, but keep in mind, do they really want you, or do they just like how you're looking? Just saying. All right, and last on the drunk off the juice list, if anybody cares, is invites her out for Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos' Italian summer wedding. Now, listen, I went through a lot of different, articles, and I was like, what do I want to talk about? And I don't know how this made the list, but it did. But invitations have gone out for Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos' wedding nearly 2 years after getting engaged. Page Six has confirmed the wedding is set to take place in Venice, Italy, sometime over the summer. The Amazon founder proposed to Sanchez in May 2023 after 5 years of dating. Now, that's pretty cool, too, isn't it? Because you don't really hear people actually dating that long anymore. But, look at them. Isn't that something? I mean, that is a mogul right there, people. Yeah. Amazon founder. And now, how many of us order from Amazon? I need to order something from Amazon right now. Now, at the time, the couple had been hitting the party circuit at the Cannes Film Festival while staying on his $500 million yacht, where he popped the question. Look at her. I mean, I know she just feel like $1 billion. Now he's the billionaire, but I'm pretty sure she feels like $1 billion. Now, rumors of their engagements were swirling as she was seen with a massive diamond ring on her finger. Bezos and Sanchez had an engagement party on their on their mega yacht in Italy in August 2023 with guests including Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio, Andrew Garfield, Queen of Jordan, Renaya something. They one of them queens over there. And of course, Kris Jenner. Of course, listen, Kris Jenner, she's gonna be everywhere, okay? So she's definitely not gonna miss out. So yeah, so you know what? Listen, if you like them or if you hate them, whatever, congrats to I guess the happy couple. If they're not happy, they're definitely wealthy. Put it that way. All right, and you are now drunk off the juice. All righty, great show. Oh my God. Once again, this is the last show of March, but don't worry, because listen, next month we're back in action for April. Really in the spring of thing. April showers, as they always say about April. So yeah. So things are really going. And this was a really great show. I do want to thank my Rising Star guests, Elke and Christina Artwell. They really put it down. And I had a really great time with them. But the show ain't over yet, because y'all know how we do it. We close the show with I Am My Ancestors Wildest Dream. Hit it. All right, so look, so this I saved this ancestors for the last day, well, not the last day, but anyway, but the last episode for Women's History Month, because listen, these people right here that I'm about to talk about, I don't think that there will be a Z Fly without these people. Let me tell you something, because these people really got me into the entertainment of it all. They really did. You know, before, you know, growing up, I thought I was going to be a cartoonist. I draw, from kindergarten on up. I would always like draw figures and cartoons and things like that. So I really thought I was going to be a cartoonist, an artist. But this particular people that I'm going to report on, I don't know, hearing their music, it really got me into the entertainment of it all. I was like, wait a minute. I want to be a singer. Well, that never happened. But then, so I went from being a singer to then thinking I want to be a model. That never happened. But then on to radio. So, yeah, so they was really like the start of my entertainment journey. This next group right here, which is no other than TLC. That's right, everybody. A name that revolutionized R&B, defined an era and also my career, and became a cultural force that still influences music today. The members are Tion T-Boz Watkins, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and Rosanda Chili Thomas. Weren't just a girl group. They were trailblazers who shattered barriers, faced extreme hardships, and still rose to become one of the biggest selling female groups of all time. Now, let's talk about from humble beginnings to stardom. Now, TLC's journey began in Atlanta, Georgia in the early 90s when Crystal Jones originally formed the group. However, after parting ways with her, T-Boz and Left Eye were joined by Chili, completing the iconic trio. With a unique blend of hip-hop, R&B, and pop, along with their bold fashion and outspoken personalities, they quickly caught the attention of industry heavyweights under the mentorship of Perry Pebbles Reed and production by L.A. Reid and Babyface. Their debut album, Ooh, on the TLC tip, which came out in 1992, introduced them to the world, earning them platinum success. Now, of course, with any good thing, you got some struggles. Now, the struggles behind the fame. Now, despite their fame, TLC endured major hardships that tested their resilience. One was financial struggles and bankruptcy. Despite selling millions of albums, the group infamously filed for bankruptcy in 1995 due to an unfair contract that left them with little financial control over their success. They fought to renegotiate their deals and later became advocates for artists' rights. Also, health challenges. T-Boz was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia, a condition that often left her hospitalized. Doctors told her she wouldn't live past 30 or be able to have children, but she defied the odds, managing her health while still performing and later giving birth to her daughter. Also, internal conflicts and personal battles. The group's The group had their fair share of tension with Left Eye often clashing with management and bandmates over creative control. Her fury on personality was part of what made TLC so dynamic, but it also led to publicized disputes, including the infamous arson incident where she set fire to her boyfriend Andre Rison's mansion in 1994. And then, of course, the tragic loss of Left Eye. In 2002, TLC suffered a heartbreaking loss when Left Eye was tragically killed in a car accident in Honduras. The loss was devastating, but T-Boz and Chili continued to honor her legacy, releasing their final album as a trio, 3D, 2002, which features some of her last recordings. Also, to just let you know, that was actually their last album. They did make another album without her called TLC. What's this? Maybe what 5 to 7 years ago, something like that. Anyway, TLC's legacy and accolades. Now, despite all the hardships, TLC remains one of the most successful girl groups of all time. That's right. They sold over 85 million records sold worldwide, 4 Grammy Awards, 5 MTV Video Music Awards, 4 American Music Awards, first female group to receive Diamond certification for Crazy Sexy Cool. Hits like No Scrubs, Waterfalls, Creepin', and Unpretty became anthems of self-love, empowerment, and resilience. And their impact extended beyond music, influencing fashion, female empowerment, and breaking barriers for future girls. So now, why TLC embodies I Am My Ancestors' Wildest Dream? Well, TLC's story is one of perseverance, breaking industry norms, and standing up for artistic and financial freedom. They overcame poverty, sickness, exploitation, and loss to build a legacy that still thrives today. Their music spoke to social issues. Their style set trends, and their strength to face adversity continues to inspire generations. So TLC didn't just make history, they are history. They are their ancestors' wildest dream, proving that no matter the obstacles, true icons shine through. So there you have it. I think that is a great way to end Women's History Month with no TLC. All right. So there you have it, everybody. Another great show for you for the books. Like I said, March is leaving us, but we'll be back next month for April, or actually next week with April. Another great show. Once again, I do want to thank my guest, Christina Artwell, entrepreneur and musical artist, Elkie, for keeping it real hot and fresh in our Rising Star and Local Gem segment. And once again, if you all want to be a part of that segment as well, then definitely go ahead and send me those emails to bookmenext@aol.com to be on the show. And as you see, I definitely, have fun. Great questions, a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of people that be like, oh, I want to do an interview, but I'm so shy. Shy for what? It's me, or it's me. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna keep it raw and fresh. And then also, you're gonna talk about who you are in your business. So come on and have fun with me. All right. Also, to everybody, if you are loving what you see on the show, and you know what I'm saying, you want to, donate a little something to your boy, then here you go, right here. Support me. I'm gonna run all my little support or Cash App and all those apps, whatever you call them, along the bottom. If you want to donate or support your boy in what I do, very, very, very much appreciate it. I also want to thank my crew for keeping it raw and fresh as well. What else, everybody? I think that's about it. Until next time. Be sure to follow me, of course. Follow me on my social media. And also be sure to check out the website as well. Okay. There are some really, really great things coming up for Fly Entertainment. So you definitely want to keep it locked to Fly World Media to know what's going on. And also to the website. And let me see, how do I do that? There you go. The website and social media. All right. But until next time, everybody, definitely keep it fly. Okay. Have fun. Spring is here, and take care of each other and be safe. All right. And I'm your guy Z Fly. Bye-bye.